Have you ever heard of a secret society that has supposedly been pulling the strings behind history for centuries? They are said to have guided alchemists, scientists, and even spiritual leaders, all wrapped in enigmatic symbols and promises of forbidden knowledge. I'm talking about the Rosicrucians. But do they really exist, or are they just another myth shrouded in mystery? Now imagine a secret library hidden somewhere in the world, filled with manuscripts that hold the deepest secrets of the universe. A knowledge passed down through generations, protected by an elite group of initiates who supposedly understand the hidden codes of nature and existence. It is said that they master the invisible laws of the cosmos and that their teachings can lead to enlightenment. The big question is, what do we really know about this mysterious brotherhood? The history of the Rosicrucians begins in the 17th century when enigmatic manifestos started circulating in Europe. These texts spoke of secret knowledge capable of revolutionizing religion, science, and even humanity itself. At the center of this story was a man named Christian Rosicrucians, a sage who supposedly traveled through the East to absorb mystical teachings from ancient civilizations. But here's the catch. There is no concrete evidence that he ever really existed. So is this society just an elaborate tale? Or was it an intelligent way to conceal a real network of esoteric influencers working behind the scenes? The fact is that centuries later, the Rosicrucian Brotherhood continues to generate controversy and attract followers worldwide. Now the question remains, are you ready to delve into the origins and secrets of this enigmatic brotherhood and attempt to unravel this mystery? It all starts with a symbol, a cross adorned with a rose. It may seem simple, but it holds meanings that span centuries. For some, it represents the union of matter and spirit. For others, it carries the secret of the alchemical transformation of the human soul. But where does this symbol come from, and what does it really mean? The story of the Rosicrucians is surrounded by mystery. Some say their roots trace back to ancient Egypt, where priests guarded secrets about the immortality of the soul and the mysteries of nature. Others believe the Brotherhood has ties to the Knights Templar, the Order of the Holy Grail, and even the Essenes, a mystical group from the time of Jesus. But the first concrete clue of this society's existence only appeared in the 17th century when 3 anonymous texts emerged out of nowhere and forever changed the world of esotericism. In 1614, the first of these manifestos, called Fama Fraternitatis, took Europe by storm. It spoke of a secret fraternity formed by enlightened sages, guardians of an ancient knowledge capable of transforming the world. According to the text, the society was founded by Rosicrucians, a man who traveled through the Middle East and North Africa in search of the greatest masters of occultism before returning to Europe to share his teachings. The impact was immediate. Intellectuals, philosophers, and alchemists became obsessed, trying to decipher the messages and find the members of this brotherhood. But there was one intriguing detail. No one could prove that the Rosicrucians really existed. There were no official records, no known adherents, only texts filled with symbols and metaphors, as if they were an enigma waiting to be solved. But if this society was just a myth, why did these texts cause such a stir? The secret may lie in the promise of a new world where science and esotericism would walk hand in hand, uniting religion and reason. The manifestos spoke of a universal reformation, knowledge capable of leading humanity to perfection through the mastery of the hidden laws of the universe. The big question is, who was behind all this? Was it a real group of initiates trying to communicate with those ready to understand this wisdom? Or was it just a philosophical experiment to test people's reactions to the idea of supreme knowledge? What is known is that the myth of the Rosicrucians never disappeared. On the contrary, it grew and influenced mystical movements over the centuries. And the most curious thing? To this day, there are societies that claim to be the legitimate heirs of this secret knowledge. But do these organizations really guard the original secret? What lies behind this brotherhood, and how have its ideals shaped the world over time? Let's go back in time to the exact moment when it all began and understand how the Rosicrucian manifestos forever changed the history of esotericism. At the beginning of the 17th century, Europe was in turmoil with radical changes. The Protestant Reformation had already shaken the authority of the Catholic Church. The Renaissance rekindled fascination with ancient knowledge, and scientific discoveries began to completely reshape the world's perspective. One of the fundamental pillars of the Rosicrucian order was the belief in universal harmony, the idea that the material and spiritual worlds are interconnected by invisible laws. This vision aligns directly with the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary figure of antiquity who stated, "As above, so below." This Hermetic principle suggests that everything in the universe is connected and that the microcosm, the human being, is a reflection of the macrocosm, the cosmos. The Rosicrucians also emphasized a deep knowledge of alchemical medicine, which went beyond healing the physical body and sought the purification of the soul. To them, illnesses were not just physical imbalances, but also spiritual ones, and a true physician should treat the human being as a whole. This perspective closely resembles the teachings of Paracelsus, the renowned 16th century physician and alchemist who revolutionized medicine with a holistic approach. Many believe that Paracelsus directly influenced Rosicrucian philosophy. Another essential aspect of the order was the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. The Rosicrucians believed that through their teachings, an initiate could attain an elevated state of consciousness, comprehend hidden truths, and free themselves from the illusions of the material world. This path required deep study, meditative practices, and a genuine commitment to serving humanity. However, unlike traditional alchemists who sought to transform base metals into gold, the Rosicrucians rejected this idea. To them, true transmutation was not physical, but spiritual. The gold that mattered was not a precious metal, but knowledge itself. According to their view, the famous philosopher's stone was not an object, but the human spirit elevated to its purest state. The Rosicrucian manifestos also carried a strong reformist ideal. The fraternity saw the world as a corrupted place and believed in the necessity of profound transformation, not only in religion, but also in science, philosophy, and society as a whole. This revolutionary thinking divided opinions, attracting both admirers and opponents and, of course, fueling countless conspiracy theories over the centuries. But if this knowledge was so valuable, why did the order remain secret? According to the manifestos, the Rosicrucians believed that the world was not yet ready for their revelations. They feared that this wisdom could fall into the wrong hands and be used for selfish or destructive purposes. Therefore, they chose to operate in the shadows, spreading their ideas subtly through symbols, metaphors, and coded messages. Since the emergence of the manifestos, various societies have claimed the Rosicrucian legacy, each interpreting its teachings in its own way. But to what extent do these modern organizations truly represent the original brotherhood? How did Rosicrucianism influence other mystical traditions and secret societies over the centuries? One of the names most frequently associated with the Rosicrucians is Francis Bacon, the renowned English philosopher. Some theorists suggest that he not only knew about the manifestos, but may have even been one of their creators. His vision of a society enlightened by knowledge and science has a strong connection with Rosicrucian ideals of reform and spiritual illumination. Another figure suspected of involvement is Isaac Newton. The genius of physics was not only a scientist, but also a deep scholar of alchemy and Hermeticism. Some say that his research on the nature of the universe was influenced by Rosicrucian principles, which saw science and spirituality as parts of the same whole. The order's influence also extended to other secret societies such as Freemasonry, which incorporated symbols and teachings similar to those described in the Rosicrucian manifestos. Meanwhile, esoteric groups like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn integrated Rosicrucian concepts into their magical and spiritual practices. But to what extent was this influence real? The Catholic Church, on the other hand, always viewed the Rosicrucians with suspicion. Their reformist ideas and defense of reason as a path to the divine were seen as threats to religious authority. Over the centuries, accusations arose that the Rosicrucians were behind political conspiracies and even revolutions. Some theories link them to the secret workings of the French Revolution, influencing movements in search of freedom and social reform. But is this history or just another conspiracy theory? It's hard to say, as nearly everything about the fraternity is shrouded in symbolism and secrecy. Regardless of their origins, the Rosicrucians left a profound mark on Western esoteric and philosophical thought. The idea of hidden knowledge capable of transforming humanity continues to fascinate scholars and spiritual seekers to this day. But behind it all, something even more mysterious was happening, something that challenged the boundaries between religion, science, and esotericism. And that's when three enigmatic texts appeared out of nowhere, spreading like wildfire and leaving everyone intrigued. The first one appeared in 1614, Fama Fraternitatis. This document told the story of a secret brotherhood supposedly founded by the mysterious Christian Rosicrucians, a man who traveled through the Middle East and Africa in search of occult knowledge. Upon his return, he decided to create a society to transform the world through this esoteric wisdom. According to the text, the Rosicrucians had existed for centuries, guarding an advanced spiritual science capable of healing diseases, prolonging life, and leading humanity to enlightenment. The following year in 1615, another document surfaced, Confessio Fraternitatis. This second manifesto reinforced the ideas of the first and made a direct appeal to the intellectual elite of the time. The message was clear. Society was corrupt, and only those who accepted the hidden truth could be part of the great universal reformation that the Rosicrucians planned. The text spoke of a secret order of enlightened sages operating in the shadows to guide humanity to a new level of evolution. Then in 1616 came the most enigmatic of the three, the chemical wedding of Christian Rosicrucians. Unlike the previous two manifestos, this one was more symbolic, filled with alchemical metaphors and coded messages. It described Rosicrucians' journey through a process of spiritual transformation, a mystical wedding representing the fusion of spirit and matter, reason and intuition, the visible and the invisible. These three texts caused an uproar. Intellectuals debated their messages, philosophers tried to decipher the riddles, and religious authorities grew uneasy. Who was behind these writings? Who were these mysterious Rosicrucians promising a new era for humanity? The impact was so significant that even René Descartes, one of history's greatest philosophers and mathematicians, set out to find the Brotherhood. He traveled to Germany, convinced he would find enlightened minds who could help him unravel the mysteries of the universe. But like many others, he returned empty-handed. No one ever found concrete proof of the Rosicrucians' existence. So was it all just an elaborate philosophical theater? Some scholars believe these texts were written as an intellectual experiment to provoke critical thinking at the time. Others argue they were the work of a small group of esoteric reformists trying to plant a revolutionary idea in society. And, of course, there are those who swear the Brotherhood truly existed but never wanted to be found. Regardless of the truth, one thing is certain. The Rosicrucian manifestos sparked a new wave of thought, influencing various esoteric orders over the centuries. From Freemasons to alchemists, from occultists to scientists, the idea of a secret knowledge capable of changing the world continues to fascinate generations. But was Christian Rosicrucian ever real? Or was he just a character created to give credibility to the story? That is a mystery that remains unsolved. Perhaps the true Rosicrucian legacy is not found in any specific organization, but in the timeless message it carries. Real knowledge is not in institutions, dogmas, or titles, but in each individual's inner journey. In the end, the greatest secret of the universe was never hidden in ancient manuscripts or secret societies. It has always been within you. Hey, what do you think about the Rosicrucians? Myth, legend, or a brotherhood that still influences the world behind the scenes? Share your opinion in the comments. If this content resonated with you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep bringing more videos about mysteries, occultism, and self-knowledge. And before you go, how about diving even deeper? There are videos on the screen waiting for you. One of them might reveal something you never imagined. Choose wisely. See you there.